Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, I gotta say, I was genuinely impressed with Alex because he walked in there and he saw, Chad and Stephanie hugging. And initially, he was like, I brought you some food or whatever, but it seemed kind of pointless. I thought he was going to go off on her. But he didn't. He stayed. He helped, spin this story and stuff like that. Him and Chad worked together, and in the end, they were able to sit there and get the job done. Chad came in with his experience of being a father, being a parent, and he had a fresh set of eyes. So I in the beginning, I thought he was just going to go off, and then, Stephanie was going out being with Chad, and then we were going to do this back and forth thing, but it didn't play out the way I thought it did, or I thought it would have. I'm impressed by that. But you can tell that Chad is, every time that Stephanie and Alex are like, really close together, or, even Chad was like, hey, listen, if you start feeding her, I'm out. You could just tell that he was, I don't want to sit there and say butt hurt, but he was definitely jealous. Of course, when he came back, he saw those two making out, and then I'm like, bro, you said that you weren't ready to be with anyone, and that she shouldn't wait. I don't want to sit there and hear this. I'm not feeling sorry for him if he feels, jealous or anything like that. You made a choice, now you got to deal with it. Point blank. She wanted to be with you. She chose him as a consolation prize. You don't get to sit there and whine about it afterwards. That's not how that works. Uh, Eric definitely hit rock bottom at this point. Um, he punches EJ in the face after EJ. I mean, granted, EJ. What? To be honest, EJ was giving facts now. I mean, he might have did it in a way that for some people can come across as rude or even dickish, but he was right. Jada chose to terminate that. Her. Well, I don't want to sit there and say it because of YouTube and the rules or whatever, but she's the one that chose to go about that procedure. Yeah, Nicole told her that, hey, being a mother isn't easy and with your career and everything like that. But at the end of the day, Jada isn't stupid. I mean, how she even admitted that, there was a good part of her that was sitting there thinking maybe, that Nicole was doing it for her own selfish reasons. But at the end of the day, it's like EJ said. He didn't put a gun to her head and say, go to the clinic and do X, Y, and Z. She chose to do that. Um, So with the whole relationship or whatever, EJ was like, "Yo, listen, you did this to yourself. You have nobody to blame except for yourself." That's not 100% true, but the point is, he wasn't entirely wrong. So, EJ was like, "Yo, what are you gonna do? You gonna hit me or whatever?" And he did that. He punched him in the face. Now, I was about to forget their names for a second. Bella, Bella and Sean. I was going through so many names in like the Rolodex in my head, but Bella and Sean are sitting there talking about Eric and Jada because Sean has to sit there and do extra shifts because of Jada's like I don't know medical procedure or whatever. So they're going back and sitting there thinking like, yo, does she really like go through with a what? Um, and of course Bella's like, no, 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 no. Eric is gonna be a great father. He's gonna be happy, whatever. And they're both like they're gonna raise the baby together, even though that Eric is with Nicole. So they can't really do anything for Paulina because they're also talking about that situation. It was like let's just go to whatever that club that I just forgot. They get down there, they see the aftermath of EJ with a bloody nose. Eric is just pissed off, and turns out that he was driving there drunk. So Bella was like, "Yo, are you serious? Given your history, given what happened, you drove there drunk? Like, what is wrong with you?" Eric, well, EJ was like, he just punched me in the face or whatever, and Sean was like, "Oh, are you gonna, you like, do you want me, are you gonna press charges or whatever?" Eric assaults Sean at this point when he's like, listen, just chill out or whatever, just to kind of calm him down a little bit. And so he pushes him on the floor. And now at this point, he doesn't have a choice. Sean doesn't have a choice. I mean, he could have probably played it off, but given that EJ did press charges, um, and at first Nicole was like, no, no, don't do it. He's going through a rough time or whatever. But AJ was like, no, 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 he did this on himself. He's not there blaming you for everything. Like, you don't owe him like your sympathy or to defend him in any shape, way, or form. Like, he's doing this all on his own. Like, he has nobody to blame for himself. So after that, Nicole was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. And they arrest him and they take him down to the police station. And of course, Eric, being drunk, says a sly remark as far as EJ's concerned. But I was like, you know what? Listen, you can find your own lawyer in the morning. I'm good. Like, you're going to sit there and provoke me after I'm snitching trying to help you out. At this point, it's so early in the morning. I literally just forgot. Eric he needs this. He needs this jail time. And I don't remember if EJ said something along the lines of that, but he needs his jail time. At this point, he hit rock bottom. Given the fact that years ago he wound up killing someone over drunk driving. Nah, you assaulting EJ. You're lashing out at Nicole, which, to be fair, she deserves some of that smoke. But you definitely hit rock bottom, and a night in jail is what you need. Given the fact that he also, I don't think that he's going to be arrested for assaulting Sean, even though he did that in front of everyone there. Even Bella was like, "Yo, listen, you are getting off lightly." Hell, even EJ was like, "Listen, um, Bella is your sister, and Sean is your brother-in-law. You're gonna be fine." So of course, Nicole goes back to the house, and EJ tries to comfort her by saying like, "Yo, listen, this isn't your fault," because Nicole is blaming herself for Eric's, his behavior, that night or whatever. But in the end, listen, as much as I don't like Nicole, EJ was right. She's not responsible for his action, his choices. Listen, in life, things happen to you. You have for the most part, you have choices. How you choose to react and how do you choose to respond is on you. And I'm not going to sit there and put that on Nicole. I'm just not going to do that. So while Sonny's not there helping Leo trying to find a job, um, he feels bad for him. Like, there's one point where his stomach just starts like rumbling really loud. So he goes in the kitchen because he's like, hey, listen, my cook or whatever's gonna make us some food. This way you don't have to sit there and eat stale donuts at an AA meeting that you don't really need to go to. He steps away for a second. Now Will calls and Leo is trying to call Sonny, but he doesn't answer. So instead, like an idiot, he decides to pick up the phone and talk to Will. And at some point, Sonny comes back. He talks to Will. Now, apparently, because he's shooting another movie for Peacock, I can't believe I'm actually saying that. I get it. But, they want to sit there and support the network that's supporting them. But I'm like, you could just say you're shooting a movie. I mean, come on now. You didn't have to sit there and say Netflix, but you could just, whatever. There's like, um, he said he's shooting a movie, whatever, so he's not gonna make it. And Sonny is like, he's angry, he's disappointed. You can see where this is going. Okay, the writing has been on the wall since Leo started spending more time with Sonny. So it's gonna happen at some point. It's gonna happen. They're gonna want to hook up, and then Will is gonna come back, and it's gonna be this whole mess. And from what I understand, from what I think DC told me, is that the actor doesn't want to be there full time. He has a full time career, whatever. So I just don't understand how they're going to make that work. See, I forgot her name. Darcy, I think that's her name. the woman, the last woman that played Abby. She didn't want to be there full time. She wanted to be there part time. But for story purposes and stuff like that, it just doesn't make any sense. It was fine when it was broken up, but you know, now that they're back together, it's like, how are you going to sit there and just have your wife halfway across the world, and like, how is that going to work? And seeing her part time or whatever. And I feel like this Will storyline, because the actor doesn't want to be there full time. I mean, granted, it's good for drama. Don't get me wrong; it's great for drama. But I just don't understand how their marriage was ever supposed to work with him being in LA and Sonny being in Salem and not having any sort of temptations or just frustrations or just pick your poison and it not going to work out. So Kristen's sitting there talking to her dog about how she, is pulling the rules on Brady, and Brady walks in like, yo, you gay? Like, you talking in inanimate objects? Like, what's going on with you? Should I be concerned? Like, should we take you to whatever psych ward that they got in this town? They go back and forth a little bit, and of course, Brady's not happy with the idea that Rachel's sitting there talking about a Christmas list, and one of the things is marriage. And he's like, I don't want to sit there and get our little girl's hopes up. And of course, Kristen's like, well, things can happen. You never know, this, that, and the third. And, once again, they go back and forth about that, the usual. But Kristen's at this point, she's like, hey, listen, we don't have to, like, what's stopping me and I already have you right where I want you. I'm already moved in. If I want to sit there and take you to the altar and just add that as part of the deal, then that's what's going to happen. But she's like, I'm not going to do that. It's going to be it's going to be your choice. And I guess Kristen's just like, listen, all she really needed was time, was proximity, and a little bit of time. And that was going to be enough to make Brady fall back in love with her. But I'm like, dude, you're already sitting there blackmailing somebody into spending time with you. Well, you think that's going to be too much of a hit on your ego by getting him to marry you? So it's like, no, it's fine. We'll start with baby steps. We could just sit there and just have some fun in the bedroom. And I'm just like, it sounds so wrong. I'm like, Brady, it's Christmas. It's kind of hot. I mean, you could just give in. It's no harm. It's no harm, whatever. I mean, just give in. We'll call it hate sex. Okay, we just call it hate sex. Just why not? Obviously, that's wrong. Okay, that's wrong for so many reasons. And of course, if the roles were reversed, we'll be sitting there calling Brady a scumbag and everything else, trying to get him canceled. So, isn't that kind of amazing in society? I mean, I don't want to sit there and go off on a side tangent, but just think about it for a minute. If the roles were reversed and Brady was sitting there blackmailing Kristen into spending time together and everything else, and he was sitting there trying to be like, hey, listen, we could just do this. We could just totally go for it. Not one person. So many people will be sitting there calling him a creep like there was no tomorrow. But of course, when it's a woman that's doing it, it's okay. Just saying. Anyway, he turns her down. He walks off. Now, I saw the previews, so I feel like I can sit there and talk about this because it's not really super spoiling people about anything because you could just look it up online. It's the same way that I feel like when I do my streams and people talk about Y&R the next day. It's like, yeah, it's spoiling it, but at the same time, you can just watch it online, you know. Um, I don't know. I guess in some ways it's still kind of spoiling. My point is, we know it's going to wind up happening without Orchid. Because Brady was like, listen, if you truly think that you have what it takes to get me back with you, give me the Orchid. Give me the Orchid. Do it as a good gesture of will or whatever. On a side note, I can't believe that EJ moved Nicole into Susan's over. Especially when there's so many different houses in the room. Now, I get it for, budgetary concerns and, because that's what it really comes down to. when Ava was there, wasn't it? Maybe it was the same room. Because Abby got murdered there. And Ava was like, why would you move me into a room where, like, somebody died here? Like, no, 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 it's fine, or whatever. They had to make it work. And granted, Susan didn't die there, but it was Susan's old room. And he's just like, well, it's the best room in the house. I doubt that. You must have at least about, I don't know what a mansion holds, like maybe 15, 10 rooms. And out of all the rooms, you moved her into Susan's. Again, I get it. It's a budget thing, but in reality, it makes no sense. Um, but like I said, we know what's going to wind up happening to the orchid. Okay, I call what I saw in the previews Charlie's Angels. If you watch the preview, um, you know what I'm talking about. But we all know what happens to that orchid, and oof, it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck. Let's just put it that way. Hmm. On a side note, I'm surprised they didn't actually do a PSA on that. I just thought about that, like especially given Y&R and what they're doing with their story. Usually towards the end, they're sitting like, "I'm so and so, I'm so and so, and this is why you shouldn't do yada yada yada." The fact of the matter was, Eric was drunk driving. Okay, now it's great that he didn't want to ping anyone or anything like that. I wonder if they actually did a PSA back then. If anyone remembers, if they actually did a PSA back then when Eric killed that guy that I can't remember, let me know in the comment section. But again, yeah, I'm surprised they didn't actually do that. And I forgot the person that said this, but in the comment section in the last video, but they was like, isn't it funny that he left one bar, like he left one bar drinking to go to another bar? I don't know why, but I just thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, with that being said, I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else that wound up happening, so if I missed something, let me know in the comment section. But with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. This was a good episode, so if you didn't get a chance to watch it, watch it. And I'll see you in the next video.